Well, I look at it epigenetically. And for those of you, most of you know what genetics are. That's your makeup. That's the computer of your body. You can't change your genetics. That's what you got from your parents. That's what you are. But you can change your epigenetics. Now, your genetics is the computer of your body. But you know, a computer's not going to run without good software. Epigenetics is the software of your body. It's all the physiological and chemical reactions that take place within you to keep you healthy. Now, when we're doing all the wrong things, those are breaking down. Our epigenetic systems are breaking down. And so we need to resurrect them. And so they can function properly and so they can heal our immune system. Now, when you take chemotherapy or radiotherapy, you know that's based on getting your immune system down as low as it can before they kill you. That's what happens. And then they have to stop. And then you have to rest for two weeks and then have some more. That's not the idea of healing the epigenetic process of the body. They're just trying to kill a few daughter cancer cells, which they're not very successful at. And so we need to heal the epigenetic systems of the body. And that's all your enzyme systems, your hormone systems, your detoxification pathways, all of these. And when you put good things into your body, the right food and the right liquids, the right water into your body, it begins the process of healing your epigenetic systems, which then can heal the only thing that can heal cancer in your body. That's your immune system. Don't let anyone tell you that anything else heals cancer. Although those other things are part and parcel to healing the epigenetic systems of the body, as is Kangen water, they're not in and of themselves healing mechanisms alone for cancer, but they all play into it. And Kangen water, in my opinion, and based on the science that we have seen, helps that to happen.
Yes, Dr. Rao, thank you so much. And I'm going to combine two questions. And this comes from a very special person from Sri Lanka. And her mom had a breast removed yesterday because of cancer. So we wish her all the best. And also everybody who's here and typing, and you are going through this difficult time, we all wish you the best. And we pray that all of you come through, and especially with the help from Dr. Babs and all these resources available, please get them. These, we wish that many of our loved ones who've gone on, they had when they had it, but we are very blessed. So please do that. We wish you all the best. So these specific two questions from her. Number one is are there any psychological help or that we can give to the needs of the people going through cancer treatment? Because apparently the mom has become aggressive, more and more aggressive, which is totally new, and they are, of course, at a loss. The second one is people with cancer treatment, are they able to take the medication for depression as well? So those two questions together, please. Thank you.
I think the second one, you're saying the medications and taking them with Kangen water. Is that specifically what you're saying, or not?
They're still they do not have Kangen water at the moment. If somebody is going through cancer treatment, is medication for depression, is that prescribable, or is it wise?
Well, let's deal with that one first. And for those of you who have television, you know that the pharmaceutical companies are advertising every day their new drugs and their old drugs. And they have many for depression. And we've all seen that. I see them anytime I turn on the television. I see them. But I also read the fine print, which so many people don't do. And sometimes they even say some of the bad effects that come with these drugs. And the antidepressant drugs, you know what one of the symptoms is? One of the side effects? Depression. You know what another one of the side effects are? Suicide. Thoughts of suicide. I would never take one. Now, having said that, I can't tell her or anyone else not to take these drugs. It's not my place to do that. But I wouldn't. And that's how I always deal with it. I would never do that because we know things that are actually good for you that can accomplish basically the same things that they're trying to accomplish with drugs. And so we try and move people away from drugs and move them into the natural things that perform as well, or sometimes much better, dealing with the symptoms. Because with depression, what are you dealing with? You're dealing with symptoms. You're not dealing with the root cause of why you have depression. And so that's why we put together the protocol that we have, because we know that when you drink the right water and all of the value that is within that, when you eat the right foods and you have a really good diet, so you're absorbing the nutrients that you need, when you take the right supplements, because we have to supplement at times with, and I'm not saying any supplements, I'm saying the right supplements, because there's too many supplements out there today that won't do you any good, and some of them will harm you. And that's what we do, is we try and guide you to the right ones, the ones that really work, and the ones that have no bad effects in and of themselves. And then when you detox your body, and then when you exercise when you can, getting that blood moving, these are the things that raise you up. And no one can doubt that. No one can refute that. When you're putting these things into your body, they start to resurrect those epigenetic systems I just talked about. That's what we heal, to heal depression. That's what we heal to heal that's what we give to heal other psychological problems. And people say, well, how can food heal my brain, heal my emotions? Because we're dealing with your nervous system. We're dealing with all of the systems within your body, and we're putting them back together again. And when you do that, weird and strange things happen to you. You mysteriously and magically start getting better. And so if we want to deal with that individual case, Lena, after this or on a side, I will do that with you so that you can present to them some of the things that I would do in a depressive state. And I'll get specific on that, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Bob. The two questions, again, I'm going to put together. Quite a few of them have asked, how much water should a diabetic type 2 patient take, and a cancer patient? That's question number one, about the amount of water. And the second one, I want to read specifically from somebody, Miss Mary Bellin, to everyone. Okay, I'm a cancer patient. I have titanium rod on my spine due to tumor and now diagnosed having MRSA. Please help me. What type of water can help me? I hate taking antibiotics. Thank you, doctor. So yeah, wish you all the best, Mary. And Dr. Bob, please.
Well, I would hate taking antibiotics too, because antibiotics destroy your gut biome. You have in excess of 37 trillion bacteria in your gut, and most of them should be good bacteria. You should have a very small percentage of bad bacteria, but unfortunately that's not how it works anymore, because again, of how we eat, how we drink, we're getting the imbalance going in the wrong direction. Keep this in mind. Your immune system starts in your gut. 2/3 of your immune system is in your gut. So don't take antibiotics if you can avoid it, because it's going to destroy that gut biome. It's going to take that imbalance all the wrong way. Your immune system goes with it the wrong way. So take probiotics to begin with, not antibiotics, but probiotics. And take the food, eat the food that feeds the probiotics. We call that prebiotics. Do that instead. But if you're dealing specifically in this case with MRSA, you just said MRSA, MRSA, which is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. And it's a bad infection. We know that. Most of those infections are, and I didn't hear where it is, it's on her skin. I'm assuming it's on the outside of her body. But and she doesn't want to take antibiotics, but that's all that they have for this. We take silver. We take Pico Silver and Silver Angel. These are both silvers that are ionic, and they are so tiny that when you drink them, they can get to all of the smallest capillaries in your body. Capillaries are so small that sometimes colloidal silver and some of the bigger colloids can't get into them. Silver kills virtually every pathogen known to man. That includes MRSA. But you know what else does? 2.5 pH hypochlorous water, which is made through, you could make it yourself at home with water, salt, and electricity. It pulls the chlorides, the chlorine out of the salts is what it does. And when you get water down to 2.7 or 2.5 pH by this method, it's called hypochlorous water. I know the Kangen machines produce this water, and many people use it for MRSA that's on the outside of their skin. And they use it for even for flesh-eating bacteria. We've seen it work for that, which is These things become fatal in hospitals because antibiotics aren't working anymore. And we even know a doctor in Idaho, you may know of her, I think it's Peggy Parker. She's a big-time Kangen water gal who actually has a protocol for people to drink a certain amount, not a large amount, but a certain amount, and I think it's before meals, of hypochlorous water, 2.5 pH. Now, normally we wouldn't recommend that because we don't want people to further acidify their bodies, right? And you guys do demos all the time about how much Kangen water it takes to neutralize something like soda pop that is 2.5 to 3 pH. So, but these things, I would use those for MRSA to begin with. And in lieu of drinking the 2.5, I would drink the silver. And we have access to this silver, and we can make access to it as well, because I've got a bunch of it up here in my office as well, because I use it almost every day. I use it for prevention as well. I'm not worried about COVID-19. I've got silver. No one who has silver and a strong immune system should worry about COVID-19 or anything else, and that includes the flu, pneumonia, and everything else. Now, I'm not saying people are immune from those. No one can say that. But I'm saying if you want to keep your immune system strong and not worry about COVID, there's a few simple things that you can do. And I'm not worried about it. I don't like wearing a mask, I can tell you that. And I don't unless I have to help protect someone else's, at least their thought process that I could be dangerous. I'm not. But anyway, I got off track there. And you asked about the amount of water also someone should drink. Now, that varies. You know, if you weigh 110 pounds, you don't have to drink a gallon or a gallon and a half of water every day. If you weigh 240 pounds, which is, I don't know how to transfer that to kilos right now, 240 pounds would be 2.2, I don't know, 100 kilos, 110 kilos or whatever. But you would have to drink more water. Now, I think that people should work up to the 9.5 water as quickly as they can. And that's kind of a homeostasis type of water and I think that it's on the epigenetic level, a healing type of water because of the science we just talked about. I'm not saying it's going to heal your disease. Once again, no one can say that. But the amount of water that we think, for instance, if I had, let's say that I've got colon cancer. I've got a stage 3 colon cancer. What am I going to do? I weigh 190 pounds. I'm about 6'1". And I would drink as close as I could to an ounce per pound of my body weight. So if I weigh 190 pounds, I would try and get close to 190 ounces a day. Wow, that's a lot of water, isn't it? That's a gallon and a half of water a day, just about. Most people say, well, I can't do that. Well, you can probably do about anything you set your mind to. But if your mind says you can't do it, then you're right. No, you can't. If your mind says you can do it, then you'll find a way to do it. If people absolutely can't do that, though, then I say do what you can. Increase to the point where you can, because we see that people that do more water, more of the 9.5 and the 11.5, do far better. They do far better no matter what they have. Again, I'm not giving a curative analysis here. I'm just saying we have seen end-stage cancer patients sent home to die by their doctors. Their doctors say, there's nothing more we can do for you. You have 90 days or less to live. Put your affairs in order. We get them on 11.5 pH water. Something happens. And people that do more do better by far. And I would get into that slowly, but that's what we find out. So the amount of water is really relevant to your weight, your situation in life, if you're sick or not sick, if you're deathly sick or not sick. If you're well, you think you have nothing going on with you, then drink a half an ounce per pound of body weight. If you've got some challenges, minor challenges, you might go to 3/4 of an ounce per pound of body weight. And I'm sure all of you have heard this before, but I want to especially say that when people are chronically ill and they're suffering and struggling, whether it's cancer or anything else, those who do the most water do the best by far, especially when they get to the 11.5 pH water. Some people say it's too alkaline, it's going to hurt you. Jeez, no, it's not. It's not going to hurt you. I know people who use cesium chloride for their cancers. Cesium chloride is 14 on the pH scale. Those of you who know the pH scale know that that's the very top. It doesn't get more alkaline than that. They have to take potassium with it because it drains the body of potassium. But 11.5 pH water is 1,500 times less alkaline than cesium chloride. We don't recommend that people drink it forever. And of course, we can't recommend people drink it at all. We just tell them that we would. And we know that people that do, the people that do the most do the best by far. I have many people out there today who were in that exact situation. Get your affairs in order. Their doctor basically telling them that you're dead in 3 months or less. These people are alive and walking around today, years after they were given that death sentence. So no one can tell me that it doesn't work. No one can tell me it harms the body 11.5. Never seen it harm anyone, anytime, any way. But we recommend, if we were in that situation, we would transition to the 11.5 slowly. And then once we're drinking all 11.5, we do that for 90 days. And then we reassess. People that do the most do the best.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bob. I will read the last question, and it's about 11.5, and it's a bit technical. So for John Hughes' question, he just want to ask whether the enhancer tank is in or out when you're recommending with 11.5.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. I have people tell me all the time that you can produce 11.5 without the enhancer tank. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And I would say that if you do have the ability to do that, more power to you. I don't think it's 11.5 that's going to hold its attributes for very long. I don't think that at all. And but if you're able to produce 11.5, I would ask you to do this test. If you can produce 11.5 without your enhancer tank, I'm going to ask you to run a gallon of that 11.5 and run it in a milk bottle or whatever you have and fill it all the way to the top. And then close it immediately and put it in a cool, dark place and leave it there. Every day, pop that lid, do a pH test or an ORP test on that water every day. See how rapidly, or if it even after a day has those attributes. See, I've done that with 9.5 and on my machine, and I've left it in that water bottle on the floor in a cool, dark place, covered up for a week. And people told me, well, no water machine is going to produce water. It's going to hold that ORP in there past a day. Okay? I went to look at that 5 days, 6 days later, and it was still holding a minus 100 ORP. That's when I said 12 years ago, I was going to buy a Kangen water machine because no other machine I had ever seen could do that. As a matter of fact, there are people who said, no, it won't hold an ORP past 1 day. And that's because of the construction of the machine and the care that they take in these platinum plated titanium plates and the power that they have with it. It goes back to science and how Kangen water is produced, how we took what the Hansakuts did in the Himalayas, that glacier water that is pure water coming down the mountains, rushing in the streams over the rocks and the sand and picking up the minerals. That was the original ionized water. The Hansakuts lived to be over 100 years old. Why? Because they drink naturally ionized water, which is produced by the Kangen water machine. Not as natural as theirs, of course, but it's the best we can do because we don't live there. And they eat apricot kernels, and that's why they live to be that age. But yeah, I would drink the 11.5, and I've told you that. So I hope I answered the question for you.
Yes,
thank you very much, Dr. Bob, for sharing your knowledge and giving us advices with regards to Kangen water. It's a privilege that we have you here in our event. And good luck also to your event later on, and see you there. And for those of you on the call, if